profit of yours is 10 minus 6. That is rupees 4,000. So giving all those examples there only. Correct, Michael sir. One of the basic things that quantify something, that is, you have to express it in terms of money. 1 and 2 is an event, or profit and loss is an event. Everyone. Correct, Michael sir. Transaction is day-to-day thing. You asked me, what are you doing? I said I sold goods. What are you doing? I said I purchased goods. These are transactions. And then you said, what did you make out of it? I said, hold on. I'm telling you, I made 10,000 rupees of sales. I made 6,000 rupees of purchases. So the total came out to be rupees 4,000 profit. ठीक है ना? There would be a profit of 4,000 rupees na? That is an event. While the remaining two are transactions. Isn't it? The ultimate thing, ultimate result is called an event. This is called result. And that result is an event, which are in part of at least financial character. Michael sir, you were saying now, monetary in nature, this is what we call it as financial character. That's why I was not recording even a single thing when the person said good, when the person said bad. ठीक है ना? Done? Acha, there's one more definition. Look at this definition, the second definition. First of all, acha, sir, ma'am, everyone else, I was making my own business journal entries. I thought, let's note out what is happening, purchase, sale, I was buying and doing all that. And I bought a particular car for my family, so that my family can move along and they can go anywhere as they want to. Now, what will you say? Now, what is it that you will say? Now, this car belongs to business or it belongs to my family? What happens with this car, everyone? This car is my personal expense. Shall I record my personal expense, everyone? Won't it be wrong? So in this case, the crux is the points where we have to identify whether it belonged to the business or it didn't. So the first and the foremost point is identify. Number 2 is measure. As I said, good or bad? Not good. Measure, quantify it, 1 crore, 40,000 loss. Communicate, tell them what you are doing. And then permit informed judgments and decisions by the users of information. Ultimately, we will ask the users of the information that this is what we are providing you. Now it is there, the ball is in their court whether they want to invest in my business or not. Okay? This is accounting as the language of business, everyone. Acha, now I'll be talking about this particular area, recording, classifying, summarizing in terms of a particular method. That method is called accounting cycle. This is called accounting cycle. I'll come back to the previous slides which I missed. This is called accounting cycle, everyone. Accounting cycle is just like I've got a particular, I prepare garments. So what will I do? I'll get thread. I will get cloth. I will get dye. I'll add buttons, stitch buttons, what kind of accessories I'm adding. And then ultimately I'll start preparing it, that is work in progress, and one day it will turn into finished goods. Won't it? That is what we are trying to say. This will turn into a finished goods. This is what we call it as accounting cycle. In accounting cycle, I'll give you the raw information. I'll say, pata hai ye ho gaya, pata hai wo gaya, in my business this happened, pata hai this happened. I'll tell you everything, and then you will decide what you're going to do about it. That means you will note down, this transaction is positive and this transaction is negative. Take down, jot down everything, and find out whether you are making a profit or a loss. For that, the very first thing they do is identify the business transaction. Okay, I'm asking you two transactions, everyone. Withdrew money from bank for office purpose. Second is withdrew money from bank to purchase a car for the proprietor or the owner's family. Now, can you say which portion is basically something which is defining, that is an identifying this is a business transaction and the other one is not a business transaction? Can you define it? If my business belongs to the clothing and area, and if I buy a particular thing, that is a particular couch which is not there in my business, it goes into my personal expenses na. That means I use it at my own place. है ना? First is definitely what? The first point is definitely a particular business transaction, while the second one is not. है ना? Easy? First is identify. Second is to measure. That means, first of all, if I withdrew money from bank, then how much? I withdrew rupees 10,000. Then I will have to record, because I am a human. Do you really think I'll remember what I spent on January 2017? 20th? Nobody remembers it. Even I won't remember it. Even if someone would be having that kind of memory, then even the information for this brain becomes too much. So you record things in a certain manner. In that manner where you are recording the things as per the requirement. Then comes classifying in the form of ledgers. In the form of ledgers, how? Correct, Yogesh sir. Now that is a very good answer. Yogesh sir has said that the second one will also turn into a business purpose if this is used for family. It is not used for the family purposes, but also for the business purposes. Acha, now what will I say is, acha, think about it. I think when we were kids, this is what I used to do with my mother. If she'll ask me, what did you do? Pata hai, mama, this happened, that happened, then this happened, then that happened. This is the way where a kid explains it to the senior. And do you know, a particular person who's sitting at the lower level will also explain things in the same way. So this transaction happened, so that transaction happened, then this happened, then that happened. There would be a particular manager who will say, I cannot look at individual transactions throughout the day. I want a total summarized situation. Please do not give me separate information. I do not have the time. What will you do then? You will create a summary. First of all, you'll classify things that, acha, this is the basic information. Let's consider all the purchases. Let's consider all the sales. Put them into different area. And once you are done with all that, we'll take it to the next level. है ना? We'll classify these things in the form of ledgers. We'll put them into proper tables and say, Arey, sir, total purchases are these. Sir, total sales are these. And then, first of all, we'll classify, put them all the sales together, all the purchases together. We'll summarize it. And then I'll tell you. Analyzing. That means I'll try to find the profit or the loss. For that, I'll do the analysis. And then, interpretation. See, if it is going good, that means we are having a profit. enormous profit, less profit, more profit, we'll specify it. And then we will communicate it to the users. Who are the users of accounting, everyone? Who are the ultimate people who wants to know about the business? If I work for shareholders are very important users who are always interested in the company's working, then there are other people as well. Who are the other people? Board members, customers, and pata hai, there are certain people who are investors as well. Correct, Vishal sir? Employees are also interested because they want to know whether the company is making good money or bad money. They're making good money, or if they're not making good money, then we should do something about it. Na? This is a particular format or the entire accounting cycle, but there's a format to it. Achha, one more important thing, everyone. In this area, na, how will you learn the entire sequence? You can learn it by using this acronym IMRCSAIC. I have made a particular acronym to use it. I am Ram Charan Singh, Assistant Income Tax Commissioner. I for identify, M for measure, R for record, C for classify, S for summarize, A for analyze, I for interpret, and C for communicate. Please note it down. In this way, you will be able to remember the entire sequence. Done, everyone? Note it down, please confirm. Akshay ma'am, noted? Michael sir, done? See, there are two ways of learning accountancy. One is you learn it in that particular way itself. Identify, measure, record. After a certain period of time, this method will never be something that I can say you'll remember. But when there are something which is a little obnoxious, I would say, a little weird, that is something we'll always remember. Okay, now moving on to the next point, everyone. First of all, what are the features of accountancy? Why do we record accountancy? Number one is accounting transactions are recorded to maintain the business transactions, because if someone asks me whether my business is going good or bad, I should be able to quantify it. And then we also record things so that we can find out whether we are making money out of these things or not. Then is to ascertain the financial position. What do you mean by financial position, everyone? How can we define the financial position? Anybody who's there? Who knows about what do you mean by financial position of a business? If someday I become a little judgmental and I ask you, what do you possess? And you say, I have a good place, I have my own place, I make this much amount of money every year, and that is why I have also made this much and this much and this much of these assets that I possess. That means I have a car, I have a good house, then there is a bigger lawn there, the plot of land is also there, investments are made. What are those? Very good, Sonali ma'am. It's a balance sheet. We try to find out what is the position of the business. What kind of things do they possess? That's balance sheet. Next point, to provide accounting information to the interested parties. Whenever the interested parties is asking, irrespective in terms of the companies, na, they have to do it in any case. They don't have an option. Companies are supposed to share their information with the people. One is financial performance, one is financial position. For performance, we have the profit and loss account. For performance, profit and loss account. And then we have balance sheet. This is for financial positions. Done, everyone? Noted it? Done? Chaliye. Then let's move on to the next point as well. There's a question, everyone. Please go ahead and answer. The question says, among the following, which shows the correct process of accounting cycle? Communicating, recording, identifying. Getting the answer in, I would say, everybody has answered the same. The correct answer is D. Correct answer is D, everyone. Very good. Now moving on to the next part. Identifying. First of all, you find out whether it belongs to the business or not. Then you record it and then you communicate it. Okay. In terms of accounting, now there are niches, or I would say specializations in terms of accountancy. First one is called stewardship accounting. That is what I was trying to say. In the earlier era, na, the European used to do a lot of accounting. Europeans used to have big lands, so they used to have. They were the landlords. So a landlord required someone who would maintain their particular books of accounts. So what they do is they appoint a particular person called steward who will do that for them. Then the next point is financial accounting. In terms of financial accounting, we can say that in terms of financial accounting, this accounting is only and only to find out whether we are making profit or loss and the balance sheet or not. Exclusively for that area, for nothing else. That is financial accounting. Then comes cost accounting. All these accountings are a part of your syllabus right now. Stewardship is not there because stewardship was there in terms of the landlords and all na, at that point of time. So stewards used to maintain it. For example, do you remember in our country we used to have munshis? Heard about munshi ji, everyone? In Hindi we would call them munshi. So I don't know whether you'll be acquainted with this particular term or not. Munshi ji. The person who used to maintain the books of accounts of these landlords in our country, na, they were called Munshiji. And they used to maintain the book of interests. What is the interest of a particular person? What is the amount that he has to pay in terms of that amount, na? In terms of interest and all. He maintains that. That is stewardship accounting. This was there in European area. Then we have financial accounting where we try to find out the profit or loss. Costing is, we have talked about the costing last night now. Muneem ji bhi bolte hain unko. Correct Yogesh, so they are also called Muneem. Acha, look at this. Cost accounting. This particular pen I bought for 100 rupees and decided to sell it for 130. 100 and sold it for 130. This is my cost plus 30 rupees. This is cost plus profit. Will give you the sales. So obviously every business caters their costing area. Reduce your cost and then increase your price. If you increase your price further, you will be making a good amount of money. Then we have management accounting. Management accounting is also there in your syllabus right now. Management accounting can be stated as something where they state that management account was making related to the decision making. What should I do? How can I decide what I'm going to do in my future? That means if I'm looking forward to project A, then I want to move on to the project B. Then I thought of working in the project C. Which particular project is better? The decision making, the basic working of the entire portion is done under management accounting. Okay, that is a portion of management accounting. The next point that arises in this area is taxation accounting. Acha, cost accounting. Sure. Cost accounting is basically something where I say that this pen was made in 100 rupees altogether. The pen was made in 100 rupees. Okay. Then I said that 30 rupees, 100 rupees is something that I had there. And then I sold it for 150. Or say this was sold in 130. Yeah. I bought it for 100, sold it for 130. Then 30 is basically something they added as a profit. Okay, so in this case, I'm explaining it again. I bought a particular pen for rupees 100. I bought raw material, converted into finished goods, prepared it through the labor, polished it, made it a proper fine finished good, and then I sold it for 130 rupees. So what would you do? So what would you do? What is the profit in this case, everyone? Correct. This is cost accounting. We are not focusing on this area of costing. We are just focusing on the total cost of production itself. Just focusing on cost of production, not on the selling price, but on the cost of production. Costing helps to reduce that part. If you reduce your cost, you can increase your profit. Because I'll sell it for 130 only, but I'll reduce my cost to 80. Then I'm making 50 rupees as profit. I can increase my profit by reducing my cost. That's the rule. Cost accounting. Got the point, everyone? After cost accounting, we have taxation accounting. In terms of taxation accounting, we have goods and service tax, we have income tax. Earlier, we used to have CST, VAT, all those things. So, in terms of taxation, we have to maintain the books of accounts. That is covered in the area of taxation accounting. Next point is social responsibility accounting. This accounting relates to the area of social responsibility of the company. We're trying to find out whether we are giving anything to the world altogether or not. That is social responsibility. Then the area of management. Acha, management accounting is, sir, whether we are looking forward towards. See, if I have 100 rupees, how do I manage it and share it with all of you? I have to spread up my money into different projects. That is management accounting. ठीक है ना? Then social responsibility is related to the area of what Tata does. They are running a lot of social welfare cases. They are looking forward to it. They had been providing education and all through this. Their social responsibility accounting. Next is national resource accounting. National resource accounting is related to the area of knowing the forest cover, knowing the area of forest cover, or you can say in knowing the area of I would say other than forest, the minerals, ores, all those, right? That is national resource. What are the resources that we are having? Then is inflation accounting that talks about the price increase. That's just HRM, human resource accounting. Earlier, humans were not recorded or considered as a very big thing. Now they are very big. Then human resource, sorry, it is related to the area of the number of people who are an asset to the company, who are giving a good work or generating a good revenue for the company. That is human resource accounting. Then comes the era of stages of accounting. What are the various stages of accounting? In accountancy, I said first of all is making routine records. What are you doing? You'll say this the sales, this purchase, this expense, this sales, this purchase, this expense. Then you will summarize sales total, purchase total, expense total. Then this is called summarization from time to time. You'll summarize everything so that the interested parties, whenever they are asking you what's happening, you can explain this is what we are doing. Then next is in terms of accountancy, there are two systems. First is pure entry system, and the second one is double entry system. This system is something that Luca Bartolomeo Piccoli has given. Pure entry system was basically kind of noting down only one side. Acha, everyone, if I say that I bought this pen, what is it? The transaction do you think that we'll have? Sure, Chandra sir. In terms of the PPT, you want me to go slow? The previous PPT was something that we were done with already. That's why I took it a little faster there. Correct, Vishal sir. Double entry. Rajiv sir, these are the basics of accounting there. How did it start? What is it about? Okay, no problem. Sanjay sir, exactly कौन सा वाला portion? If you can let me know, I can repeat that part. Aruna ma'am, missed out anything? In terms of accounting, in the previous slides, I have already explained this era. First of all, we record only individual transactions, purchases, sales. Then we will record anything related to it. No problem. So when we are explaining it, first is routine records. Routine record means the records that we are maintaining and talking about related to sales only, related to purchases only, expenses. These are day to day things that will happen in a business. So what will we do? We will record them individually. And then when the time comes when we have to explain it to the manager, we will summarize it and then share it. Okay, that is what we define as summarization. You can give a quick read to this particular part and please let me know if there's any doubt. Any doubt in this area, everyone? Any specific terminology where you felt that, ma'am, we have no clue? For example, event, for example, financial state, or in terms of interested parties? Only a few specific things are there, na? Done? Sanjay sir? Thank you, sir. Next point. In terms of accounting scenario, na, before Luca Bartolomeo Piccioli gave the system which they call it double entry. Now, what is double entry? First of all, let's talk about it. Acha, do you really think I'll just buy this pen and not pay for it? है ना ऐसा होता नहीं ना. If I get a pen, I'll get a pen and I'll lose cash. Agreed or not, everyone? If I get a pen, I lose cash. Even if I buy a pack of chips, I lose cash. If I sell goods to you, I'll gain cash. Right? That means every transaction has two elements. Salahuddin sir, as such, na, this is basically the English medium class. The bilingual class will also start soon. Anil sir, nobody gives a gift to the business. Either it's a grant from the government, okay, or you can say even if you receive a grant or something from the government or anybody, na, that part is also taxable for the business. They will record it. If I get a gift, that means I get some money for the business without any payment or services. Now that particular amount will go as an income and I'll use it in my business again. It would be cash to income. I am getting one income and also having cash. I'll have to specify it. That means whatever a business does, whatever they are doing, there will be two elements. If it's a gift, you gave a gift to the business. For example, you gave, let's take it, someone known to the business, gave them chairs. Okay. So what will the business do? They will record it in certain way that we, in terms of NPOs, what does an NPO does? For an NPO, whatever they receive, not for profit organization, charitable organizations, they don't give any services. They just get money. So when they receive money, they write it as cash. And why are you receiving cash? Because you are getting donations. If they are getting any chairs, tables, then they will write it and that they'll call it donations. Rajiv sir, in the banking system, we use double entry. Single entry system was something which was used long back, and it is said not a good way of working. Single entry system is not a good way of working. It used to be just one particular side and at the same time all in cash. Single entry system has been scrapped, sir. This is not in use anymore. I hope this particular area is visible clearly. That is why the whenever we'll be dealing with this entire studies, now we'll talk about double entry system only. We'll not talk about anything else, but we'll talk about exclusively double entry system. The entire working of double entry, how does double entry system start, what are the formats, everything. Done, everyone? Shall we move on? Chaliye. After single and double entry system, the next thing that we have is basics of accounting. In terms of accountancy, if I say that only if you give me money, only then I will record you in my books of accounts. If I pay you money, only then I'll record. That means cash received, cash paid. What if I made a particular purchase or sale in credit? That means I said that, sir, ma'am, I will give you money later on. Right? So that was to be considered as cash basis. So now the class time tenure is from is it it's up to 1 hour and 30 minutes. Since the examination pattern has definitely changed now, it is now more detailed. So we are going to have the class up to that particular time. I think today I won't stretch it that much. Since this is the first day, slowly and steadily I'll increase the particular coverage of the topics there. First is cash basis. Cash basis sale, record only cash basis. Record only things which are in cash. Cash purchases, cash receipts, expenses paid in cash, amount received in cash. Matlab till the time you don't receive money from someone, don't note it down. The second one is accrual basis. Even if the money becomes due. If the money becomes due, you note it down. For example, by the end of the month, salary becomes due, note it down. And then you receive the when the particular amount is paid by the company, then record it again that this was due and this is now paid. So whenever the things become due, even now you record it. And then they started with something called hybrid basis. Okay. Under hybrid basis, they say whenever you have to pay to someone, expenses are to be paid. There is something called which is like a burden to the business, that is called liability. Liability means the amount that we are supposed to pay to someone. I haven't paid, for example, bank loan, for example, debentures, for example, bonds which the company takes from the people. Expenses and liabilities. Whenever it is related to the expenses and liability, they say just pay it beforehand. If you haven't paid it, then record it so that you don't forget about it. You have to record these things on due basis. As and when you have incurred an expense, note it down. Because you have to pay it later on, note it down. How will you remember it? That is expenses and liabilities. If I get any income or I buy a particular machinery, car, any of those sorts which will help my business to grow further, they call it assets. Okay. Expenses, the expenses, that is the kharcha, I would say kharcha in Hindi. Expenses are the amounts that we pay to grow our businesses, na? Where liabilities can be stated as a burden to the business. Kindly note down these terminologies, everyone. Liability is a burden to the business. Why is it called a burden, everyone? Can you give me some examples of such burdens? Kindly give me some examples of such burdens, everyone. Very good. Payable interest. Next. Yeah, we have to give it back. Loans that we have taken from someone. Nay, Chandrasekhar sir. It's just that I cannot put all my money, na. Personal loans, they are not a loss. Yes, Sanjay sir. If I talk about myself only, na, I can say credit card after due date, I have to pay more interest and amounts, na. Very good, Vishal sir. For banks, the deposits are liabilities. Banks has to cater them. Rent payment is an expense. Rent payable is a liability. I have to pay to someone, na. Correct, Gayatri ma'am. These are liabilities. Acha, the bank operates through that particular building, na. So what do you think? If the bank has that building, only then the bank operates? Will they sell this building and make money? Or if they sell that particular building itself, the bank won't be able to operate at all? They need that building in order to earn money, isn't it? When banks buy those places, they are basically keeping that particular shelter on their head, that someday when people have to buy something, when people have to open up an FD, when people want to take out money, there should be all the facilities in the banks itself, na, so that we receive money, है ना? Own building is an asset, very good. Own car is also an asset. When something helps you to earn, that thing is not earning. If the bank sells that building, how will the bank work? ठीक है ना? There's a particular idiom in Hindi. Anybody who understands Hindi, that is basically, so घोड़ा अगर घास से दोस्ती करेगा तो खाएगा क्या? If I'll sell my major plant and machinery through which I'm making goods, then I don't have a source to make goods at all. I cannot multiply my money. To multiply my money, I need an asset. Rajiv sir, I was supposed to make a payment to you. Cash basis said, don't record it till the time you don't pay to sir only. I said, okay, that is cash basis. Accrual said, array, ma'am, you will forget you have to pay Rajiv sir this much amount of money. है ना? I have to pay you certain amount of money. I'll record it on due basis. That is called accrual basis. When things are recorded, kindly note this down. When things are recorded on due basis, it's called accrual basis. Yes, Yogesh sir, they have to pay rent every month, na? The lease rentals, they are a liability. No problem. In case anybody wants me to specify a particular definition of a particular financial term, then feel free to ask everyone. Because I know many of you are not from the accounting background. So if there is any terminology that you want me to explain or you want to note down in your quick notes, then kindly do the same. For example, have you noted down the meaning of liability yet? Note it down. Liability means burden on the business that they have to pay. Yes, Aruna ma'am, I'll come to it as well. Just note down the area of liability and assets and then I'll talk about hybrid again. I was just trying to explain these two terms and then I'll move on to hybrid. Assets means, asset means anything that helps in generating business income. Anything that helps in generating business income. Yes, Sanjay sir, burden to a business is a liability. Loan is also a liability. Correct, Vishal sir? Okay? So these are two basic terms that we have learned today. Now everyone, income and if okay, hybrid basis says use both na. Use cash basis and at one point of time, use accrual basis at other. I said at what point of time? They'll say whenever things are related to cash expenses and liabilities, when you have to pay someone, note it down on due basis only. It's not allowed that you will wait and then you will say, array, I forgot to pay this particular person money now. You don't have that kind of thing. You have to pay, note it down in advance. Note it on due basis. While in terms of income and assets, wait till the time you haven't got the money. If I come to all of you and say, Pata, I'm going to make a sale, Pata, I'm going to make a sale, I'm going to make a sale of up to 1 lakh today, what will happen? You will say, ma'am, please let it happen first and then we'll record in the books of accounts. है ना? That is what we call it as the cash basis. Achha, in terms of income tax, na, a very interesting question. I think this is something that we have studied in terms of audit there. When we go on the bank audits. Achha, everyone, if the interest due for the next particular period of time, the transfer of the dues is there now. You haven't paid the interest, but you put that entry. Is that portion taxable to me if it is not transferred into my account? If it's just recording that area of whatever accrual amount of interest that you have to pay to me, can you put it as something there which is taxable right now? Or will you wait till the time I receive that money into my account? It is credited to my account. It is not taxable until unless it is credited in the account. It becomes taxable at that point of time. Before that, it is not taxable. This particular case happened in terms of income tax itself. Done. The interest that is accrued and not transferred to the account, now that is not taxable. Something related to the account, to the income tax department there, right? This is how we call it hybrid. For a few things you use cash, for a few elements you use the due basis. Got the difference, everyone? Note it down. Shall I move on, everyone? Rajiv sir, done. Aruna ma'am, Lakshmi ma'am noted. Sanjay sir noted. Yogesh sir, Gayatri ma'am. Chaliye. Thank you. Now let's move on to the question. Here comes the question, everyone. According to the accrual concept of accounting, financial or business transaction is recorded when the cash is received or paid, when transaction occurs, or when profit is computed, or when the balance sheet is prepared. The balance sheet is the place where we put all those assets and liabilities. I'll say कि that's a bit हिंदी dialogue. They used to say कि मेरे पास गाड़ी है, मेरे पास बंगला है, मेरे पास ये है, मेरे पास वो है. आपके पास क्या है? Every businessman has to explain this. When they are sitting in the bank and they want loan, na, the bankers are always going to ask, what do you possess? How will you give us a security that we give you money? You are not known to us. You have to show your credibility. That means you will have to show your assets if you want more loan or you want more liability. You should have the ability to pay us back. Otherwise, bank will face NPAs. है ना? Accrual concept says A is cash basis, everyone. A is cash basis, while B is accrual concept. Done? The correct answer is B. Shall we move on, everyone? Okay, let's see, what do we have? The correct answer is when the transaction occurs. The definition for accrual is also given there. You can see this particular portion in the particular area of the PPT itself. Once the PDFs are attached now, you will find it in the PDF. So after the completion of the class, by the end of the day or maybe tomorrow, you can review it again. Done? Okay. I think whatever questions I added in this area are almost done. So, shall we proceed further or shall we call it a day, everyone? Let's end it here. Or shall I start with the next topic as well? Chaliye. Slowly and steadily, I'll increase the particular timing as well. Whatever basic things that we were dealing with, they are all done. Yeah, sir. Rajiv sir, we have a particular group. Let me share you the details of the group as well. Everyone, just give me a moment. I'll share you the details of the Telegram group. You can join it there. This is it, everyone. This is the Telegram group which you can join.